What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going over my top 5 classes to be using in Warzone after the season 4 update. We're going to be going over nerfs, buffs, my favorite guns and classes to use so you guys can dominate Warzone. Without further ado, let's hop straight into the honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 1, I'm going with the Rev 46. I feel like this gun is super underrated, and every time I pick this gun off of ground loot, I swear I'm frying everyone with it. And on top of all that, it did catch a buff in the latest update. It got a little bit of a damage range buff. It got a slight buff to ADS speed, and then the lower torso and leg multiplier went up just a little bit, so probably not noticeable buff, but it's still a buff, and this gun is honestly really good. Getting straight into the attachments, the iron sights on this gun are buns. That's why I rock the Fang over point elo, just because this is the best optic in the game, I'm gonna be honest. Next, I go to the Hawker Series 45 because this thing's twerking a little bit, man, and you guys know how I like my zero recoil guns. This thing is a laser beam with this attachment. Next, I go with the short barrel just because it increases your mobility. It still is an SMG, so we can't just build it as a no recoil laser beam. You need a little bit of movement speed there. This one I was kind of iffy about. I went ahead and threw on the 55 round mag, but man, does it slow you down a little bit. But this gun just shoots so fast that I feel like you have to have it. So if you guys want, you could go rock the 45 round mag, but for me, I'm running the 55. And like I said before, we want to make this gun have no recoil because it shoots so fast and it be twerking a little bit. So we go with the refrain sketch grip with the horizontal and the recoil stabilization. And that's the build from my Rev 46 honorable mention. Honorable mention number 2, we're going with the AK-27. Now this just caught the most insane buff I've ever seen. And the only reason I'm putting it in honorable mention is because I don't know how it's going to be in game. I haven't tried it yet, but just off the stats alone, this has to be in the top 5. Like, there's just no way it's not. Basically, the monolithic suppressor got an insane nerf to all guns. They brought down the bullet velocity to like 5% on every single gun, which is bad. We don't like that. But what they did do with the AK-27 is they reduced the horizontal shake while firing. Guys, that was the entire issue with the AK-27 in the first place. It was good. It had good damage, but my God, you couldn't even shoot straight with this thing. But after I built it out, I went to the firing range. Guys, look at this. Like, are you kidding me? This thing is shooting a literal laser beam right now. Like, this thing is actually crazy. So hopping into the attachments, we got the Fang over point elo because the iron sights are bun. And this is what I was just talking about. The monolithic suppressor is actually probably the worst suppressor you can put on in the game. Like, yeah, it gives you bullet velocity, but they also turn down the damage range on it. Like, that's so bad. But this new suppressor gives you damage range and recoil stabilization, and it keeps you off the minimap. But this is what I was talking about. So they nerfed the monolithic suppressor, they nerfed the damage range, and they nerfed the bullet velocity on it. So the monolithic suppressor is bad now. For the normal suppressor, you get a 10% damage range buff now, and this used to have a bullet velocity penalty, which made it have less bullet velocity, which was terrible because in Warzone you want as much bullet velocity as you can get. But since they took it off, this might be the #1 attachment for long range weapons. Next attachment, go with the control barrel. AK-27 be twerking a little bit. You want to have that control, and this gives you a lot of vertical and horizontal recoil, and it gives you bullet velocity. Next up, go with the extended mag 2, obvious reasons. And then last but not least, go with the Pugil heavy stock. This is the control stock. It gives you more recoil control, and I just got disconnected. That is my entire build for the AK-27. Give it a try. Let me know how it is in game because, like I said, I haven't used it yet, but it's looking like this might be one of the meta guns. Getting into the actual top 5, the EGRT comes in at number 5 because 1, I don't have this gun leveled up, but 2, when I do pick this gun up, it melts. This thing is crazy. Getting straight into the build, we got the Fang hover point elo. This gun actually does have good iron sights, I'm not gonna lie, but there's just something about shooting the Fang hover point elo on assault rifles that just like gets me going. Except we're gonna go put on that suppressor that I was talking about. It's just the normal suppressor. We don't want the monolithic suppressor. That thing is buns now. Next, we're gonna go with the control barrel. We do want horizontal and vertical recoil control and bullet velocity because this is our long range weapon. We want to be beaming people. Next, we go with the extended mag 2. This has a 60 round mag on it, which is really good, but my God, I feel like I'm slow with this. Sometimes I feel like the 45 round mag would actually be worth it on this, especially because if you got this new Mastercraft, it looks cool. And then last but not least, the control stock, pretty similar to the other builds. Want the vertical and horizontal recoil. That's the build for my EGRT. If you guys do want to rock the iron sights, you can definitely just take the optic off. Now I would probably go with something like the stabilization rear grip just because it gives you more horizontal recoil and more recoil stabilization, but it does take down your ADS speed just a little bit. At number 4, this is going to be a hot take, the dravec 45. It just got a major buff. Like I said, haven't used it yet, but with the buffs that it gives us, this might be one of the meta SMGs in the game. So the rate of fire on the dravec actually got increased by 20 rounds per minute because on top of the dravec already being good, they just buffed the fire rate, so now it's even better. Then they up the headshot multiplier a little bit, which is fine, it's whatever. But getting into the build, for the muzzle, go with the Hawker Series 45 for the vertical recoil control. You guys know me. I like my zero recoil. Next, go with the short barrel for the mobility. You're gonna get some ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, hip fire spread, hip fire movement speed. Never gonna use hip fire movement speed because you're attack sprinting all over the place anyway. But the hip fire spread, that's crazy. Hip firing in this game is nuts. Next, I go with the extended mag 1 because the extended mag 2 just felt like a little much, especially because it doesn't shoot fast enough that the 60 round is like needed, but also it already has some pretty good damage on it. So it's not like you're gonna be running out of ammo while fighting people. I think the 48 round mag is perfect. And it doesn't mess with any of your mobility. Movement speed doesn't go down, your ADS speed doesn't go down, your sprint to fire doesn't go down. You get 0 cons. Next, we're going with the mobile quick draw grip. This helps you with the dive to fire speed, the sprint to fire speed, the ADS speed, and the jumping ADS speed. Man, that's a lot of stuff. But yeah, this just increases your mobility insanely. It is an SMG. You want to be able to have them quick, snappy iron sights, snapping onto people, shooting people before they can even get their gun up to shoot you. This is a perfect attachment for the dravec. And then for the last attachment, I go with the mobility stock. This just helps out your sprinting movement speed and your regular movement speed. This just helps out your strafing move speed, your regular movement speed, and then your sprinting movement speed, which is just like chef's kiss. We like that. Now, the reason I didn't run an optic on this is because I feel like the iron sights are pretty good. Now, if you really wanted to run an optic on this, just take off this rear grip and go ahead and throw on that Fang, a hover point elo. There you go. You got yourself a build. Coming in at number 3, we got the Voyik. Now, the Voyik is tough. The reason I don't have this higher is because I don't really have it leveled up, so I haven't had my own class to use in game, but the amount that I've picked up off the ground, this thing fries. Like, it is so good. The time to kill is insane. So getting into the attachments, Fang hover point elo, you guys already know. Next up, we're going with the new suppressor because we're throwing this monolithic suppressor back in 2025. We do not need this thing no more. Next attachment, go with the control barrels. Helps out with that vertical and horizontal recoil, and it gives you some bullet velocity. Now, I did go with the 60 round drum on this just because I feel like I run out of ammo a lot with the 45. Now, the reason I don't go with the 45 round mag on this is because it actually hinders your ADS speed, and usually it doesn't. So with that being said, we're just gonna go with the 60 round drum on this. And then of course you go with the heavy stock for that recoil. And then of course you go with the control stock for that recoil control. And that's the build for my Voyik. Now, before we get into the top 2, there's a couple of guns that are not in my list that might surprise some people. Number 1 being the Code God. It got nerfed into the ground, baby. Guys, I'm talking they reduced the ADS speed on it. Garbage. And then they reduced the damage and the damage range on it. This gun is dirt. Do not use the Code God. That thing is garbage. And then another one that might surprise some people is the MK78. This gun got an insane nerf. For one, they decreased the bullet velocity. That's already red flag number 1. And then on top of that, they reduced the damage at every single range. And then on top of that, they reduced the damage range. That's just insane. They really destroyed that gun, but thank God because it sucked. I hate going against it. Imagine just being across the map, someone spraying an entire 100 round magazine at you, and all they have to do is hit 7 or 8 bullets and you're dead. That's ridiculous. Getting into the top 2, we got the VST. This is my baby, my bread and butter. I love this thing. Now, it did not get touched in the update, which is perfect because it was just beautiful how it was. But getting into the build, I actually use mine as a movement build. So usually you would probably go with the Hawker Series 45 for the vertical recoil, but I went with the Hawker Hybrid 45. This just helps out that movement speed, the slide to fire. This just helps out that movement speed, the mobility. Next, we got the Steady 90 grip. This is the mobile recoil foregrip. It gives you movement speed, recoil control. It's beautiful. Next, I go with the extended mag 2. This thing needs it. It shoots so freaking fast. Next, we got the heavy stock. This helps out with the recoil control, and it also gives you some flinch resistance. And then, like I said, this thing be twerking a little bit. You need the buffer springs. Helps out with some recoil control. If you didn't want to build this as a movement SMG, you can go ahead and throw on the Hawker Series 45. I think that's fine. It really doesn't change much, except for you're going to be frying people a little bit harder. I just like the mobility because in this game, movement is so crucial. That's my build for the VST. Now, getting into my number 1 spot, we got the DS20 Mirage. Who saw this one coming? Pretty much everybody. This gun is insane. Wasting no time getting into the attachments. Fang hover point elo, you need this. Iron sights are buns. Also, you're never using iron sights on an assault rifle like ever. Next, we used to use the monolithic suppressor because it gave you bullet velocity and damage range, but now the new suppressor is better because it gives you damage range. It doesn't hinder your bullet velocity anymore, and then it also helps out with the recoil control. If you guys didn't know, the Mirage actually got buffed. Oh my god, what? It reduced the vertical recoil over every single mode for 8%. That is crazy. 8% recoil control. Are you kidding me? So this thing's already going to be a beam more than it was before, and then we're adding more recoil stabilization. Oh my god. Next, go with the control barrel for the recoil control. We're making this a laser beam. Literally, this thing's not going to move. Next attachment, go with the extended mag 2, obvious reason, and then go with the control stock for the last attachment. Guys, I want you to look at this. Are you kidding me? This thing is gross. Like, it doesn't even move. Like, I'm frying this from, oh my god. I did miss a bullet. That's a lie, I missed a bullet. You guys get what I'm saying? This gun is insane. That's the build for my Mirage. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this top 5. If you guys use any of these classes or don't like the classes that I gave you, let me know down in the comments. And if you do use them, let me know how many kills you drop in your games, man, because like, I'm kind of curious. Also, this thing actually has no recoil. That's insane. Anyways, it's been Mason. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See you guys on the next one. Peace.